Hi friends, how are you? Today Mrs. Youssef is going to read you a book written by our favorite author, Mo Willems. And this time, Mo Willems' story does not have Elephant and Piggy, it does not have Pigeon, and it does not even have Duckling. It has a brand new character that you haven't met yet, and its name is Knuffle Bunny. So let me read you the story, Knuffle Bunny by Mo Willems. And there's two things about this story we can see on the cover. One, he earned the Caldecott Medal Award, so we know this is an awesome book just because it received this award. And it's different than other Mo Willems books because I see a photograph. I see a photograph and there are illustrations on top of the photograph. So he used two kinds of art in his book, drawings and photography. So let's read to find out what happens in the story, Knuffle Bunny. And here's the title page, Knuffle Bunny, and you can see the little girl growing up with her family. And in each picture, it seems like she has, do you see how much she loves Knuffle Bunny? I think it's a girl. We'll find out as we read. It's hard to tell when she's a baby. Not so long ago, before she could even speak words, Trixie went on an errand with her daddy. Can you tell where they're going? It looks like Dad has clothes in a basket. Let's see if they're going to the laundromat. Trixie and her daddy went down the block, through the park, past the school, and you guessed it, into the laundromat. Trixie helped her daddy put the laundry into the machine. Do you see her dad putting the clothes in? And Trixie looks like she's playing with the clothes. She even got to put the money into the machine. I see there's the beginning of a problem here. Did you guys notice what happened? What happened to Knuffle Bunny? But a block or so later, Trixie realized something. Look at the expression on Trixie's face. She looks surprised and worried all at the same time. Trixie turned to her daddy and said, "Aggle, flaggle, clabble." "That's right," replied her daddy. "We're going home." Is that what she's trying to say to her dad? Let's see what Trixie does next. "Aggle, flaggle, clabble," said Trixie again. "Blaggle, plabble, wumpy, flappy." She begins to cry because her dad does not understand a thing she's trying to say. "Now, please don't get fussy," said her daddy. Well, Trixie had no choice. Trixie bawled. Wah! She went boneless. You know what it means to go boneless is when you're a little child and your family's trying to take you somewhere you don't want to go. The best way not to go is to make your body go limp, and then they can't take you. She did everything she could to show her dad how unhappy she was. She flailed her arms. She screamed as loud as she could. All the people walking by were looking as if, what is wrong with that little girl? By the time they got home, her daddy was pretty unhappy too. As soon as Trixie's mommy opened the door, she asked, "Oh, where's Knuffle Bunny?" The whole family ran down the block and they ran through the park. Where did they have to go? They went past a park. Do you remember another place they had to go through before they got to the laundromat? Let's see. Oh, past the school. You're right. They zoomed past the school and into the laundromat. Trixie's daddy looked for Knuffle Bunny and looked, but Knuffle Bunny was nowhere to be found. Can you see Trixie's expression now? She looks like she's just about to cry again. So Trixie's daddy decided to look harder. Knuffle Bunny! And those were the first words that Trixie ever said. She looks very, very happy. And something I noticed is that the last picture in the back of the book is also one of the pictures that was in the very front on the title page. So we want to talk about the 4 very important things that all good readers ask themselves after they listen to a story or after you read a story. So come over with Mrs. Youssef and we'll look at those 4 questions that all good readers should ask. Friends, good readers should always ask themselves 4 questions, whether you read a story or whether your family reads a story to you. In order for you to better understand a story, one of the things we should do is ask ourselves these 4 questions. Who, where, what, and how? Let's say them one more time together. Who, where, what, and how? In the story Knuffle Bunny, the characters, who are the characters? The characters in the story were Trixie's mom, Trixie's dad, Trixie, and Knuffle Bunny. So the first question we answered were, who are the characters? The second question you should always ask yourself is, where is the setting? So the setting is either the time or the place that a story happens. So we know that the setting was primarily in the laundromat. So here's a picture of Trixie and her dad going into the laundromat. And then we must ask ourselves, what? What was the problem in the story? What was the biggest problem that happened? Well, we know that the problem was probably when Trixie left Knuffle Bunny in the laundromat and she tried desperately to tell her dad that she didn't have it with her and that she had left it there. But the problem was that he couldn't understand her because Trixie did not know how to speak yet. She did not know how to say words. So you have to figure out what was the problem in the story. And lastly, you have to always ask yourself, how? How did the story end? What was the solution to the problem? Because every story has a problem and a solution. So the solution to this story in Knuffle Bunny was that the family went back really fast to the laundromat and Dad looked and looked and looked and finally found Knuffle Bunny and the laundromat. So the solution was, the problem was that she lost Knuffle Bunny, and the solution was that they found Knuffle Bunny. And when you talk about a story, always use character names. So we don't want to say the little girl or the baby. She has a name. So when you tell your family about the answers to those questions, use the character names. That's very important. And remember, a setting just doesn't have to be the place. It could be the season the story took place in, what the weather was like, were they in the woods during the winter, the spring, or the summer? So if you ask yourselves those 4 questions, who, where, what, and how, with any story, not just Knuffle Bunny, but any story, that is one of the important things that makes people good readers because it helps them to understand the story. So don't forget, anytime you read a story, ask yourselves those 4 questions. Until next story, see you again. Bye.